I hope you are doing well. I'm excited. About 15 or so people signed up for today. I was like, yay! So we
Yay.
are on to something. So want to just welcome you all. My name's Ericka James. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to pop few little screens up to just go over some slides, so some things I remember. But then we're going to dive in. I'm going to open up my Marbleism. If you haven't seen it, I'm showing you my back end. I participate in someone else's AI training. She always uses a kind of a mock setup, but I'm like, no, we're going to jump into the real thing. So I am excited, you all. And this pushes me. That's what I really love. This pushes me to just see how much we can train our AI folks to do things. So as you guys know, Marbleism has names. So if you hear me say Linda, Stan, Penny, Sunny, those are the AI names. So we're talking about AI employees, but they are personified. And so excited about that. My light's a little dull. Let me just shift my light a bit and then we'll jump in. All right. So make sure you guys have your questions because we are, let me see here. We are going to jump right in and be thinking about your own business needs. Like, what are your lead needs? What are the things you haven't been able to get to? And then I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to kind of give a Marbleism overview just because we have a couple of new Marbleism users on here. And then we will jump right in and do some Q&A. Actually, this isn't for sales. This really is implementation and curiosity. So excited to have you guys on. I'll share a little bit how I found Marbleism. I was at the brunch of our National Alliance Training Conference, and I was sitting there waiting or complaining. I was really complaining and saying to the ladies at the end of my table that I cannot wait to jump into social media. I just can't seem to get to it. And and one of the members says, "Oh, you need Marbleism." And she holds up her phone and she's like, "Look, they do all my social media. I don't do anything. It's automated. They even put my logo on it." So as soon as the women left town the next day, I was so excited to jump in. And I thought what I was going to find was an automated social media content creator, AI. And what I almost fell out of my chair to realize is that Marbleism is actually an entire team of AI employees, which is next generation from AI agents. So I'm excited. If you guys already have AI tools, you've been hopefully working with them a little bit, and then we're going to bring in some help on how to use these. And what I have found is that there is nothing out there like Marbleism. So if I haven't met you, my name's Ericka. I don't know if you guys know about me. I'm an early adopter of technology. And what I mean by that is raising my daughter as a single mom who turned 31 on Tuesday. But when she was 4 years old, I was starting this business and I couldn't travel as a keynote speaker and as a trainer. And I was trying to figure out how can I bring the world into my living room. And this was when PayPal was still very new. There were literally no e-blast systems. There were no landing page creation machines. So I had a Sunday school teacher, or Sunday school student of mine, teach me how to write HTML and started doing newsletters and different things. And this is long before video capability meetings came about. I used to do teleclasses. And so I have been building a hybrid online-offline business for all of these years, and I'm thrilled about these tools. They're the things dreams are made of if you've been in the online areas at all. So you're going to hear the Alliance just because it is what I have been building for 18 years now, and I feel like this is a missing link. So the Alliance is a premier training and development organization for ambitious Christian women entrepreneurs. And I will add you all, I don't have a handout for this because it was just adding more work. So feel free to grab screenshots or whatever you need. So one of the things that I have been trying to solve for 18 years of the Alliance is the reality that we have a training system that I need to learn. It's not just a network. We're a training organization, and it's about sequence training to get us from specialist into development. And what that means is going from wearing all the hats to actually having a team to do the work for you. And so this is something I have not been able to solve in the Alliance until now. And Marbleism is helping us do that. We're actually implementing this as part of our training model. And the reality is this: 95% of women-owned businesses make less than $100,000 per year. Of those businesses, most of them are run by solo operators. And being committed to getting our women entrepreneurs from wherever they are to part of that 1.7 and seeing that number increase of businesses that make it to 7 figures, we have had to I've literally been praying for a solution. And I have much peace around the fact that, that this is something that has been God allowed. And if we keep it at our feet, it can literally transform our business. I'm really committed to getting this out to women, because I think we have been under-resourced, undercapitalized, and wearing so many hats in our lives. We process things a little bit differently. We're taking care of loved ones, of parents, of children, of spouses. There's so many things that we're doing. When you have $100,000 or less in your business, you are not able to get the help that you need, the human help you need, and grow your business and fund the operating capital and pay yourself well. And so what I was searching for was a system that would help me get time back. Because if I could get time back, I could put more time on marketing and revenue generation. And that's when Marbleism came into my life. So I am not like this woman sitting at your desk, and I don't know if you've ever felt like this, where you're like, there's so much work, I can't get to it. I'm wearing too many hats. I'm the CEO. I'm the specialist trying to work with clients. I'm the marketer, the salesperson, the accountant, the customer service. I love this picture. The buck stops here and here. And do you guys see the little sticky? It says, "Not today, Satan." That cracks me up. And by the way, Marbleism created this for me. So that's how powerful we have. We're not focusing on the graphic design or all those parts today, but this was literally me putting into Eva what graphic I needed. It has saved me so much time from searching through Canva and trying to find the right thing. So this is what I looked for, and I'm always blown away at what they create. So if you're looking for graphic design as part of this, it's there, y'all. It's crazy. All right. So if you are still doing these things yourself, you are in the right place. I do not want you to be fooled by the fact that they are cartoon characters. We had a conference last month in Tacoma, the first United States-based conference, because the founder of this, his name is Ulrich. He lives in France. So there's 20,000 users around the world, but very few of them are in the States. So that's why you're just probably going, what in the world is this Marbleism? And so he created them to be like superheroes. And so that's why they're cartoonish. But I think psychologically we can underestimate the power of this. And it was so interesting because at the conference, there were a lot of AI developers that are like, I actually create agents using Claude AI. I create systems. I create apps for companies. And I've never seen anything like this. It is so advanced. So make no mistake that although our employees, our AI employees are cartoons, they are serious. So I want to just go over a couple things. And if you're already using Marbleism, what I'm learning, you all, every day is I'm grossly underutilizing the capacity. So you've got Eva, your executive assistant, and she really is a chief of staff. So you imagine you, just like you would a real chief of staff or executive assistant, you sit down on Mondays and you're like, Eva, this is what's happening in my business. This is what I need the team to create. This is what I need you to remember to do. And you can put anything for Eva on autopilot. And so she writes correspondence. She manages your inbox, takes notes during your online meetings, schedules and organizes meetings for you. But she actually can do way more than that because she is overseeing the team and making sure that the tasks that you need to have done get done. Then there's Sunny, social media, graphic designer. Eva can do graphic design. She can do writing. She really can do everything. Or if she can't do it, she knows what team member to get it to. So let's say you're like, Eva, I need to know the top 100 businesses to talk to. She'll say, hey, I'll work with Stan and we'll get that done for you. So it's pretty amazing. So Sunny does all things social media. He actually doesn't just create the social media you think you have. He is all about maximizing conversions. And so let him know in the chat, and I'll open my Marbleism in a minute, what you're going for. And he'll help you get there. Penny's a writer, so she SEOs your blog posts. She also writes letters, grant sponsorships, anything you need written, that is going to be Penny. Linda is your legal assistant, researcher. She writes standard operating procedures, job descriptions. She researches state, national, federal law. She is accurate, you all. One of the things that Ulrich trained into these employees is about the equivalent of 120 PhDs each. So they really do have some AI smarts to them. And we're going to be really digging into Stan today. He is your sales rep. He is your lead generator. He finds qualified leads. He has full access to the LinkedIn database. I think he works in a couple of others. But he follows up, automates stuff, sends emails personally from you to your people. It's crazy. And then the last one is Rachel, the receptionist, who is quite impressive. I'm working on onboarding her in my business and supporting. I also COO for my brother's business, Nate Jackson, who's a comedian, and I have all of his team on Marbleism, and we are onboarding Rachel to do some pretty amazing things at his club. All right, so that's just the overview, and they can do more. Grab a picture of this, because if you're like, wow, I haven't been using Stan that way or Sunny this way, that's really important. And something else about this that I want to say, because I know most of us have been, delving into ChatGPT this last year and a half, or maybe you use Claude, or maybe you're on a trainer that's telling you how to create an AI agent. This is a picture I snapped with my camera. Sorry, it's a little lopsided at the conference. And this is Ulrich, who just nerds out on creating this stuff, which is really cool. But one of the things he said that struck me is that what makes them not just AI agents. He said he created them as AI employees where they have specific roles, because he got tired of outsourcing to the tune of thousands and thousands of dollars every month. He believes in keeping your business lean and profitable. And one of the ways to do that is not to have an overwhelming amount of employees that are not operating efficiently. So he was like, how can I solve this with AI? So what he trains them to do, and this is crazy, what they've been trained to do is to dream, what he called dreaming, every night. And so they'll look at the end of the day, what the day's work was, they'll do a night review, they update their memory, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and then the next day they're better. And that thing that is so frustrating, if you've ever had team members that don't take initiative as an entrepreneur, it'll keep you up at night. And so they actually improve, and they are proactive about not just general stuff. Like, ChatGPT will say, well, you need this. Do you want me to do this? But this is like, wait, here's your goals. This is how we can help you get closer. So it's actually the next generation behind beyond AI agents. So let's talk about money real quick, because this part, I always look at this and I was bracing myself to be like, what in the world does this cost? Does it cost $2,000 a month, which it's still worth it? Does it cost $2,000 a year? This, you can play yearly, quarterly, monthly. Obviously, if you pay yearly, it's $24 a month. If you don't have Marbleism, it comes out to like $288 for the year, and we've got a 25% discount. So it's like, it comes out to, this is $288 before the discount, y'all. So it comes out to something like $219 or $220. It's outrageous. And that's for the whole year. And right now you can get unlimited workspaces. And what I mean by that is each workspace has your 6 AI agents. And I'll talk about that as soon as I open that up. So if you don't have Marbleism, grab a screenshot of this, grab the QR code. You'll get the discount in there. It's unbelievable that you can get all of this for 200 something a year. Crazy, y'all. And I don't know how long it's going to be this price, because there's more AI agents coming out. There's a lot of other stuff it's going to do. At some point, they're going to have to increase the price. So now's the time to jump in and get grandfathered in. So ask that you use our referral link. It helps the alliance grow. We really do use this and share this among our women. So grab a screenshot of
Question,
that.
Erica.
Yeah, I'll also pop it in the chat. Go ahead.
So I used your link to sign up, and I think I was charged the 288. You think it should be 25% off of that?
It should be, yeah.
Okay.
I can check for you, Leslie.
Okay.
Because if they're, yeah, I can check and see. Uh, will you just drop in the chat which email you use to sign up? Because that's how they can track you. And then I'll check and
Yep.
make sure, because they can always go back and they'll fix it if they missed it somehow. I don't know, but thank you for that. Any
Hmm.
questions so far, you all, in terms of getting started on Marbleism, what it takes? I'll show you what it actually looks like. There's not a trial, so I think it's important to be able to see what it looks like. Or if you get it and you're like, I don't understand because I'm using these other AI tools, feel free to come as often as you want, because I am so committed to us getting this in our businesses. I'm doing these weekly ones until at least probably for the rest of the year. So you're welcome back as many times as you need. So you got that. I'll pop it in the chat in a minute as soon as I jump out of the slides and share my screen. All right, you guys got that? So let's jump in. Let's keep it moving. All right, let's dig in. So I am going to stop this screen share and I'm going to open up my actual Marbleism, because today we are focusing on automating our lead generation. And I don't know about you, but that has been a weak link in my process. I've got all these leads I'm reaching out to, but being able to actually automate the follow-up. And this is crazy, y'all. Oops. Hold on. I'm on the wrong screen. Let's see, can I get back to my other one? Hold on. I got to stop the share to do this because I have a screen right here too. Let me just get out of this and get into the right screen. Okay, cool. All right, let me share my screen once again. Welcome to you all just popping in. So glad you're here. I'm just going to share my screen so I can jump around and you all can see. Did the wrong screen again. Hold on. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. This is what I'm looking for. All right, we're going to jump into actually what a Marbleism looks like. So when you get into it, I have all of mine onboarded, but you're going to see Eva, Sunny, Penny, Stan, Linda, and Rachel, and you will actually see, let me show you what it looks like, if I can show you a new workspace. Okay, I haven't onboarded this one yet. So you're going to see onboard Eva, and she's going to ask you to connect your email. What email do you want to connect? And they'll just give you the onboarding instructions. It's very intuitive. Just follow the instructions and you'll be able to onboard each of them. So you'll see here, y'all, that I've got workspaces. And what is insanely amazing to me is for the same 200 something a year, you can get unlimited workspaces right now. And I'm going to explain why that's relevant. But if you have different target markets that you are marketing in your business, you are going to want to set up a separate workspace. The reason why is because Stan, who we're going to spend a lot of time in today, he can only do one email sequence at a time. So if you have different target markets in your business, like for example, an alliance chapter meeting invitation is going to a different set of people than my speaking stuff. And so you'll want to have multiple workspaces, and I can work through making sure you have the right amount today. But I'm going to jump and work out of my Alliance chapter meetings one. And in each workspace, you will upload, you'll put your website in, everything. It'll start studying your social media. It'll start studying you. And one thing I love about Marbleism is, unlike a lot of other AI platforms, unless you turn off the option, it is putting your stuff into its general AI brain that other people can tap into. Marbleism, the knowledge stays within your work group, and it's not even shared amongst multiple work groups. So that's really cool. So if you've got intellectual property, like I do, anything that's important to you, this stays private. It is not sharing your information with anybody else. And I think that's really key. So we're going to jump into Stan today, because I think this is just outrageously amazing. So what Stan does, y'all, is Stan actually is your leads guy. And he is looking for leads for your business. And so what he is trained to do is to go out into LinkedIn and other databases and find the leads that you're looking for your business. Now, the first thing you want to do, if you have not set this up yet, when you get into Stan, you're going to want to go into the settings. And the settings are going to break down exactly what leads. So I don't even have the email sequences set up in this particular workspace yet, but I turn on my Stan immediately because he's collecting leads for me. So as of right now, he has 9,683 potential leads within these filters. So you first want to tell it, what are you looking for? For the Alliance, I'm looking for owners and founders. These are the industries. If you are going for corporate, you want to put the department. Maybe you just want to speak to the IT managers or something. You would put the department that you are targeting inside of companies and what management levels you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for mid-level managers because you want to get your speaking across an organization, or maybe you're wanting to speak to founders, whatever that is. What countries are you interested in? And then the company size. There's no limit to this, but this is giving Stan his parameters. Then I work with, this is for Christian women business owners, so keywords he's looking for me. And then this is really cool, the NAICS codes, and that stands for North American Industry, I wrote it down, Industry Classification System. And it is used across the board to identify what industry. So let me tell you how this is powerful. Because right now my filters are set up for any company to work that. But let's say I just want to target restaurants. Or let's say I only want to target meeting planners. You actually can click and put in what you're looking for. So I'm only looking for restaurants and coffee houses. For example, my brother owns a screen printing company. I'm doing this for them. They're identifying different restaurants and coffee houses and things to do merch at for his screen printing business. That's where it gets really, really down to the nitty gritty, because you can get industry specific. Or let's say your company only sells to the construction industry. It's going to narrow it down. So the lead filtering is critical, because the more niched you can get, the more effective Stan will be for you. So that's really important, first things first. Then you've got outreach capacity. For that 200 something a year, for all of this, you get up to 300 leads a month that he is reaching out to. It's worth it if you're like, look, this thing is doing amazing things for me, and I've heard crazy stories about sponsorships, grants it's gotten. You can work this for nonprofit. Whatever your niche is, he can do it. So you can pay extra for those leads, and it still beats getting a full-time lead generator in your business. So it's crazy. Can't even get a list for that little. And so, but 300, start there, max that out, see if you need more. He's going to hook up. He needs access to your inbox. This is crazy, y'all. But what Stan does is he sends one email every 5 minutes. This is not bulk emailing. So this is going to work alongside if you've got a e-list generator or an e-list management system. This is not what this is. This is one-on-one follow-up. So it's sending an email every 5 minutes between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. in your time zone, one by one. So I think that is amazing, because that's the hard part of following up with leads. If you do have your e-blast system set up, we often don't get to go back and follow up, see how people are doing, check in. That's really huge. And then you want to connect your LinkedIn for whatever that is. If you want him to reach out to your LinkedIn people, he can also do that. Once he finds a connection, you can add in the email sequence to go over and send a LinkedIn connect and respond there. It's crazy. And then you can identify if you want the professional email only or if you want the best available. So it could be their, at gmail.com, or if you put professional only, it's only going to do at company name emails. Or if you're like best one, or if you're marketing. I was talking to my niece about this. She's a counselor. She wants people's personal emails. So whatever works is what you want to tell it to do. And again, it's narrowing it down. So if he has leads that you only put professional emails, he's not going to reach out to people at yahoo.com, at msn, at gmail.com. He's only going to reach out to business emails. And then you can get a list of the daily leads he's getting if you want. They're also in your Marbleism, but if you want that emailed to you, you can click that on. And so that's the first thing you want to take time to do, is to get your leads properly set up and connected. So the second thing we want to do is you want to research. So even before you get Stan set up in leads, you can ask him, what are the top people in this area or in this industry? You can talk and he'll give you a list, and then he'll typically say, hey, do you want me to add this to the leads list? So let's say that you are like, okay, it's outside of those parameters. I also want to reach these people or add to it. He can do the initial research, anything that you need. And so that's really amazing. And then you want to set up your email sequence. So he's going to start sourcing leads for you. And you can import leads also. This is where the automation machine starts moving, right? Let's say you are a coach or a speaker and you have not been able to follow up with people effectively. And maybe they're on your e-list or whatever. You can import leads, and he can, you can import up to 100 and 100 a day, and he will add them to this list and put them in the sequence. And so I'm going to talk about the sequence in just a minute, but that's a rather new feature. So it's not just going out to get cold leads. You can actually use this and tell him, hey, I don't want you to research cold leads for me. I just want you to deal with these leads. And let's say you want to just follow up, have one workspace just for following up from existing or past clients and another one for new ones. Stan can only do one email sequence at a time. So yes, go ahead, Aisha. Go and ask your question. Yes.
Thank you. Can we track which sequence work better from Marbleism itself?
Yes, that's a good question. You can. So what you can do is, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can, here in the status, it can sort it, and you can say, okay, who are the ones, I don't have a good example here, but who are the ones that have been contacted? And then this is key for that. Who are the ones that have replied? So let's say you've got one workspace that's like, man, almost no one replied. And you've got another one, because that's what you want. You want people to reply and actually engage you in an email conversation. And so the best way to do that, Aisha, is to check the replied, and it'll show you just the ones who have replied. And then if you can do closed, will show you the ones that are like, hey, remove me from your list. Lost may be the undeliverables or whatever that is. So you can use this status and follow up. And then the other thing you can do for that, in the sequence itself, and you all set this sequence up, I'll deep dive into this in just a second. You can tell it, like, let's say you just want to connect to people who have replied or people Stan has contacted for you. And you will tell it the parameters that you want him to send that sequence to. So you can change that at any time. So that's another way to follow up. Let's say people have replied and you're like, ooh, I need to follow up with them better. You can say, oh, I'm so glad you got back to me, whatever that is. The other thing that's really neat is when they reply in your email, he stops sending the automated emails to them. So they're not getting your personal reply and the automated reply. That's really neat. It automatically does that. And so ideally you want to have auto enroll leads so it's working 24/7 for you. But those are the best ways to see. They can also send you analytics. You can ask him like what percentage of this list is actually responding. You can ask Stan all the questions you want, Aisha, to find out whatever statistics you want. So that chat is really powerful, y'all. So the next step is to set up your sequence. And these are your words. So you set up who you want to enroll. And let's say this one's for new leads. And then the first email you want to say, you're introducing yourself. Remember, you may put a blog post in here that Penny's written for you, or something where you're adding value. You might link it to a video. You might give them a one-sheeter about who you are, what your company does, something that is giving them more information, right? And then you get to set up how many days to wait before Stan sends the next email. And you have up to 30 days. So let's say you're like, I want to follow up with people for the next year, and I only want to hit them once a month or twice a month or whatever. You can say, I'm going to have 12 email sequences. There's no limit to how many emails you can have in your sequence. And you can just space them out more and more. So you've got literally a year of follow-ups already automated for you. That's wild, right? And then you just wait 3 days. And then if I had my LinkedIn set up to this workspace, you can add a new step, and it could be send an email invitation, whatever that is, or send another email, send a LinkedIn invitation. So while you're growing it here, you are actually having people's information in LinkedIn that it's sending an information to connect with. It's sending them information to connect with. So that's really, really incredible to me, because now you can follow up with them on LinkedIn. You're keeping them in the loop here. And so you're touching them in different places. I'm working on using my Penny. I'm just going to show you guys these blog posts. They're crazy, right? So here's the blog posts. You can automate it to your blog on your website if it connects, or you can use this to set up these really great links of information. You can manually put it on your website. You can use it for your e-list to follow up. So she's writing content for you, and it's excellent content. All of these are original images. You don't have to worry about royalty-free images. They're all AI'd for you, but I think they do way better than some of the other platforms in terms of graphic design. All right. So you're
Quick
working
question on the LinkedIn.
Yes.
So I know you were saying Stan can only handle like one sequence at a time. So if you were wanting to use him primarily for a LinkedIn connection type of sequence, you would set that up, and then would you need another workspace if you didn't want it to necessarily be an invitation, but an email via LinkedIn or a message via LinkedIn? Do you need two workspaces?
You're saying if you want a deeper dive with them on LinkedIn?
Well, I was
I want to make
confused
sure.
because it looked like if you're here and your first email is just like a greeting on LinkedIn, do you have to always have, maybe the better question is, do you always have to have LinkedIn connected if you want him operating there? But then if you want to toggle these same people to their professional email or whatever it is that he cultivated, would that mess him up? I guess I'm
No,
saying, like, if you toggle between the two, does that work? Or is it you always have to have one set to LinkedIn connections and then the other would be set for reach out directly to their best email?
so yeah, the LinkedIn is just a choice, right? So you
Hmm.
can I'm going to go about it, add a new step. I can send an invitation. It's not going to, like, it's sending
Oh,
them an
I
invitation
see.
to connect you on the LinkedIn side, but this is mainly for email.
So it's another step. I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So it's just
answered it.
another step. You can use it or not. You can connect your LinkedIn or not.
Got
Totally
it.
up to
Okay.
you. But then you get to go over to LinkedIn to follow up a deeper conversation with them, right? But it's letting you have touch points in multiple places where you're collecting people to then follow up with. So it's
So,
just a step, Leslie.
so
And you
if
can,
he sends that invitation, he could still have the next step. It's just part of the process.
exactly.
Got it. And if I wanted to then check and see if they did accept, I would have to do that on my own.
Yes, but I actually think he can tell you who's accepted because he is connected to your LinkedIn. As
Okay.
long as your LinkedIn's connected, you can ask like how many of these people have accepted. One of our members was she popped over to LinkedIn and she saw that her LinkedIn connections had raised by 31%. This was several months ago. Just activating that step and stand. And
Okay.
another one had done that, and they had in their LinkedIn inbox. Stan doesn't manage that; he just connects you, so you still have to follow up in LinkedIn. But she had a client that's like, "Oh my goodness, I've been looking for you. I'm so glad to connect. I need to hire you for a consulting job," and it turned into a multi-thousand-dollar consulting job. But this just connects you to LinkedIn, and then you could continue the email sequence after that.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And so let's say, because this was what I didn't understand. I literally had Stan walk me through this. So let's say, Leslie, you've got um, another list of past coaching clients. So you're like, I do not follow up with my coaching clients very well at all to see how they're doing. Are they implementing things? You can actually change who that sequence goes to. So maybe it's just those that he's already contacted or those that have replied. Or you can say, hey, those that he closed out, those are typically people that it went to junk mail or whatever it is. You can reach back out. If you lost them, meaning, hey, they're like, I'm not interested, you can follow up with them that way. Or if you've already followed up with them, you can specify where the sequence goes to. The main thing, just to parse your list, because Stan was explaining to me, he's like, you don't want if you're having a conversation with people who have already replied, that's a different email sequence than a new person. So you don't want somebody who's you're already in conversation with and you're like, hi, I want to introduce myself. They're going to be like, wait, this is a robot. I already know Leslie. I already know Aisha. So you actually can control who the sequence goes to pretty amazingly. You can change that at any time, which is really neat.
So in that case, though, like let's say you've got your brand new Stan and you've set him up and he does have people that have replied. You've got your sequence built. Um, and he'll automatically take them out of that sequence, but if you now want to target them, wouldn't you have to build a new sequence or ask, can he then do a one-off email, or is this when you have to have another Stan workspace?
Well, remember, they're in your inbox, right? So they've replied in your inbox. So now you're having a human to human conversation with them.
Okay.
So
Or
you're
you could
not
have
this
Eva draft something.
you exactly. You can have Eva draft, which
Got
she'll
it.
do automatically. The other thing that's really important about this step, you all, is I want any undeliverable emails removed from Stan's list. So I told Eva, and I put it in the brain, which is where you put anything you need it to remember, any images you may want to use, any web pages you need it to memorize, anything like that, you put it in the brain, and anything you want it to remember. Um, Anything you need them to automatically do for you. I haven't set it up in this one yet because I'm still activating. But I said, hey, anytime somebody, I'll show you where I did do it though. I'm working on the AI implementation one. Here we go. So in this brain, this is a different workspace for this actual time we have together. And so I told Eva, remove any emails that has to be removed from our list, or no longer want to receive emails or undeliverables. Let Stan know to take them off the list. And just do that every day at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. And so in my email, I know that it's off Stan's list. And then I also told her to, I said, and also archive them for me because I don't want them in my email inbox. Archive them for me. She can't delete them, but she's like, I'll put them in an archive. I'll label them as action and put them in an archive folder for you. I said, perfect. So now they're out. I don't have to be bothered by all these, any undeliverable emails coming through. She's getting them off of Stan's list for me. And so I know my list is staying clean. So I'm going to go back over to the Alliance one. All right. So yeah, add LinkedIn. He said auto enroll is really important because you want this thing to work around the clock for you. So make sure when you have your sequence, you are auto enrolling your leads, and that toggles at the first step of your leads generation. All right. And then I highly suggest you all create some links in an email sequence. It's really amazing because you can add images, you can add links. So let's say you have an introductory video sitting on your YouTube, you can link that here. You can't have the video in here, but you can do links. And so I say take full advantage of that. If there's a blog that you've had Penny write for you that's really powerful, you can say, hey, Penny, I need a blog that just overcomes the top 10 challenges that my industry has. And you can say, hey, here's the top 10, how to overcome the top 10 challenges, and have a link to that blog. So you're adding value to people and they're looking forward to your emails, just like you would build an e-list. But remember, this is one-on-one. That's what makes this different. It works alongside your e-list, but it does not replace it. And this is also getting new links. If you have an e-list, maybe 3 or 4 emails in, ask them if they would like to be a part of your e-list. I have an e-list community where I send this XYZ out and they can respond and say, yes, I would like that, or no, whatever it is. And don't be offended if people are like, hey, remove me from your list. Just Eva will check it out and remove them from the list. You want this list to be as refined as possible. I look forward to knowing people don't want to be on my list. My target market for this particular one is Christian women. So if they're not, they'll tend to come off my list. Another thing, if you are just looking for women, you can tell Stan that, but I went through just to make sure I checked it out before I'm in the process of doing this for this workspace, checking it out to make sure he's getting all the women and I'm eliminating the men. Just because that's not my target market for this particular one. It'll be different if I'm marketing a speaking engagement or something like that. And so I have been collecting leads for a minute here. And when I'm ready, I just tell it which, I just click on this none right here and it will go into the sequence that I set up. So I'm really serious about the sales copy. Let Stan help you write it. Stan, I need a 12-part follow up and, introductory follow up this. Write them for me. I want them to be conversational. I do not want to ask for people's time. Because when I notice like right away in the first or second one, he'll be like, hey, can we set up 10 minutes? I don't suggest you do that. Let them get to know you. Did I hear somebody with the question? Go right ahead. All right, y'all. So that's what makes it's powerful. And so remember, you've got Eva over here. Let's say you want an email header on your stuff. Say, Eva, I want you to create a really compelling email header. She's going to study your style. She's going to know what questions or what colors to use. You can put in the hex colors of your brand, and it will always use that. And your brain is exactly like it would be for a person. It's those things you need it to remember. And again, you can use your own images. You don't have to have them create it. But that's really neat. I had it create an email header for me. And it's a stunning email header. Yeah. And then you all can add another way that you're building in your leads is having Sunny then say, hey, whatever, I want you to write 5 social media posts across my platforms that match, that are really geared toward people that Stan's targeting. Whatever that is, you're already telling it in your workspace, kind of what your company description is, the target customers, but you can automate Stan and just say, Stan, I want you to do this every single day or week or whatever it is. And you're also, you can put in your sales leads. Hey, I'd love to connect with you on social media. You know, Sunny's keeping your social media up and moving. All right. What else do I have? I have some notes here. Limits. Okay, let's talk about limits of Stan real quick, and then I'll open up to questions. He can send up to 200 emails per day. Typically, if you have the package that comes with the $200 a year or whichever one you have, it automatically does 300 a month, and it sends about 30 a day. But you can increase that depending on if you want to up-level your leads. LinkedIn limits, he sends 20 invitations per day, so you don't get tagged on LinkedIn. So he may say, okay, I've sent 20 out. He's going to hold off until the next day automatically for you. So I've got 700 some leads sitting here. He's not going to do those all in one chunk. He's going to work them every 5 minutes over a series of days. So it feels very human-like. If you are importing your leads, right here in this import, he needs a CSV file. And so I have a CRM, you all, that can bulk email, but I didn't have a good system to follow up one-on-one. And so I am importing leads, and he can take those and put them in your sequence, which is really cool. Just note, he needs first name, last name, email, company, and job title preferred. And now he's not going to go grab them off of the cold list of LinkedIn or wherever he gets them. He's going to work these leads that you have imported. And that's why I was saying, if you just want a sequence that's following up with past customers that you have not had a chance to, or you have not touched base with them, you can certainly set up a different workspace and just follow up with them there. And remember, the same rules apply. You're still trying to get them to your own e-list. So if you don't have a complimentary, it doesn't connect to it, but you want to still be sending those nurturing emails at least once a week. You still want to be doing that. If you need a one-sheeter or something created, ask Eva to create it. She can do the graphics for you. Really, really neat. Any images. It's still, I wouldn't say Marbleism is the best with video, but it will certainly link any existing video you have. Or if you have video out there, put it in the brain so it can study your words, the way you speak. The more you can load your knowledge base up, because remember, you're the knowledge base here. It's not going out online and pulling a ton of stuff. You're the knowledge base. It's studying you, your business, how you move every single day. And so the more you upload into the brain, the more precise it's going to be. It freaks me out sometimes because Eva hits my email drafts so much in my voice. I do a lot of prophetic business strategy, and she'll be like, if I'm doing a prophetic strategy, someone has a question. She's put stuff like, oh, looking so forward to, to hear what heaven has to say to you. I was just like, oh my gosh, she's like got it down. And so they'll have conversation with you, ask you all, if you want to know, Stan, what's the best way to maximize this? How can I do this? Ask him. Is this the best target market? Who do I need to, what do I need to change in my email sequence to make sure more people are responding? You can ask him and keep refining it. Yes. And so let him know what you want to do. My goal is to sell this many X's this month. How do we set this up? You can go in and revise the sequence at any time. He can only do one sequence. So what you do want to do, I would save the emails, in a Google Doc or a Word doc, just so you have the previous sequence, because it's going to overwrite the last one that you put up there. And then that's it. And again, let's say you just are like, I don't want everybody in a sequence yet. I just want to get names. I just want to get businesses. You certainly can ask Stan to do that research for you. He's a very good research in terms of finding leads. When you need people's contact information, that's where he shines. So, for example, I did 2 things with him on my brother's screen printing company, because it's brand new. I was like, we're targeting comics, entertainers, musicians in the Tacoma, Seattle area. And I was like, give me the top 100 performers, entertainers, musicians in this area. And he gave me a list, and I said, and their emails, their titles and their emails. He gave that to me. Then the next question is going to be, hey, can you put those into a sequence for me? Or do I want to export those into, I can say, get it ready for export, because I actually want to e-blast them all at once versus every 5 minutes. So they can still find leads for you all, for whatever you want. And just depends on, do you want them to email one at a time, or do you need to contact a lot of people at once because you need to be more robust in your follow-up? You certainly can export them. They'll just say, get it ready for an Excel spreadsheet. They'll send it in a way that you can just copy and paste it into an Excel. And then you can upload it wherever you need it. So let's say you want to follow up. I mentioned this earlier, and then I'll be quiet and answer questions. Let's say you're like, I want to have this thing work for a year for me. You can set up unlimited emails in here. And so you would just send an email, and let's say the first 3 or 4 you're sending it a few days out, but then you're like, I just want to touch base with them once a month. You can add a new step, and then you can, you can add a new step, and it's going to ask you after that step, how many days do you want it to wait? And you can wait up to 30 days, y'all. And so you can have 12 emails or 8 emails that are spaced 30 days apart, and it's just touching base with them every 30 days. Just checking in, whatever that is, just whatever you would say if you were really writing the email. It's your voice, your words. So that's a little taste of how you begin to automate your communications, keep yourself cutting edge, keep in contact with people, and they'll be blown away at just remembering that you all, something like 97% of companies do not follow up after a sale or working with people. So imagine how much it's like, oh my gosh, she coached me 3 years ago. She actually cares. She's following up, or he's following up with me. And so tons of different things you can do, but it's unlimited. Get this thing working for you. And it's crazy to think that we can get this at the price we can, and it can do all of this. So ask me questions, y'all. What questions do we have while I have this open?
I just want to say amen. Amen.
Whose voice is that? I'm sorry.
It's Aisha.
Oh, hi, Aisha. Okay, you're off screen. That's why I didn't see any lips moving.
Yes. I just wanted to say amen because Marvelism has been an answer prayer, and I'm getting out of being so shy. So to be able to have Sunny to go back and forth with and plan the post, to start some consistency with social media for me, and having everything linked, and then he knows, like, no, I have to tailor it like this for LinkedIn. So this thing is like mind blowing,
isn't it? That's why I said it's
it
so
is.
easy to not get caught up by the cartoonish way they do them, because this thing, you guys, there's nothing like it out there. And they're already pre-trained. You don't have to go out and create the agent. I think Darlene and I talked about that. You know, you're not creating them and telling what you do. They're already created for you. So I'm so glad it is working for you, Aisha. Here's what I believe. If we harness the power of this thing, we can hit that high six figure level so much faster, and then be able to go get the human help we need, right? Perfect example is Tabitha, the one who introduced me to Marvelism. She's like, she called me last week. She's like, Ericka, I'm signing the lease on my new 4,000 square foot office where she has 8 different team members working out of it. She goes, the only reason I could do this is because of Marvelism. It freed me up to get my marketing, to increase my revenue. And now she's been able to go get a brick and mortar, larger office, have a human team. And of course, they're all using Marvelism. And so I listened to NPR a lot, and a woman yesterday, she's like, I want all the people who work for me to be using whatever AI it is, because it's helping get those remedial tasks off their plate so they can function in their highest and best use for me. And so if you are like, I don't know if I want to do this, then get a VA who will do your Marvelism for you. You certainly can do that. if that's what works for you. I was talking to a colleague the other day, and she's like, "Oh, I don't even know if I have time." I said, "You're hiring a new admin. Let your admin dig in to Marblism." So, what other questions, y'all, do we have? Questions or comments? Talk to me. I'm going to shut out my screen. What other questions do you guys have? Aha moments. And it doesn't have to be about lead generation. Maybe you've got another question for me. Let me know. We have a few more minutes. What questions do you
Hey,
guys
hey,
have?
Erica, this is Shirley.
Hello, beautiful.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I have a question. I saw you had it set up for speaking. How is it working for you for that? Because I have not really I'm in the process of onboarding my stuff and I'm setting up workspaces for each speaker. So how is that working with the speaking leads for you?
I'm trying to show you what I'm doing. So I haven't activated that one. And the reason why, Shirley, is
Mm-hmm.
because that one sheeter, I'm having
Yeah.
it redo my one sheeter. And then I'm working in Opus Clips because I have enough speaking engagements of my new topics that I
Uh-huh.
want to offer, a link to being for them to be able to view. So I haven't onboarded my stand for speaking yet.
Okay.
But I literally have been working on the one sheeter. I'm digging in my bag to see if I can show you guys what Eva created.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know where it went. But anyway, I had her create a new one sheeter for me that was stunning. And so I have a couple links. I'm jumping over into some Adobe to make some shifts. And then
Mm-hmm.
I will let you know. By next week, I will have her up and moving.
Okay, great. Because I'm still I don't know if you know, but I was in the hospital.
No,
And
I'm so
so,
sorry. I missed
yeah,
that.
yeah. So, I'm still recouping. I have another week or so before I can full force. Blood clots in both lungs and legs. So,
The fact that you're on this call to share that's miraculous. I'm so glad.
exactly.
That's
Yeah,
miraculous,
that's
Shirley.
miraculous. Yeah. So here the doctor say you got here just in time. I'm like, what do you mean? He
Ah!
said, you know what happens with
Woo!
people with blood clots? He's like, you got here just in time. So yeah, so I know it was a sign that
Oh, I missed that. I'm so sorry, but I'm
yeah,
so
that's the
glad God brought you through that.
yes. So I'm still in process of recovering and doing all the stuff and shifting my life to avoid that from happening. Yeah.
I know that's right. Yes, 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 yes. And so that'll be in your recovery if you can just take a few minutes. I think someone
Hmm.
asked me last session how long I think it takes to really onboard.
Hmm.
Depends on how in depth you want them to get. I think
Hmm.
Stan, if you have different links and like, if you're setting up a workspace for your different speakers, Shirley, it
Hmm.
may it just I think it's about an hour per workspace because you're loading stuff
Okay.
into the brain, and that does not include like it taking me a little bit more time to do my one sheeter. So
Hmm.
any supplemental stuff, create that first and then get it linked and up into Stan. And
Okay.
yep,
Great.
yep. So,
Awesome.
I'm just praising God that you are here
Yes.
miraculously. So God has His angels encamped around you.
Yes. Amen.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for
All
that
right.
update, Shirley. I'm so sorry I missed that.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Usually the Holy Spirit dings me about you, and I'll be calling right at that right
I
minute. So I
know.
apologize.
Yeah, no
Take
problem.
responsibility for that.
Yeah, thank
Any
you.
other questions you all or help you need setting up your stands to be that long-term lead generation? Now, the last thing I'm going to say, I believe that lead generation and lead follow-up is like a bullseye, right? And we usually spend all this time on social media meeting new people, but the place you need to start and tighten up is your past customers that already know your work. They may be sitting there with a job or a need that just because you haven't followed up, that they don't have. So if you do not have a stand set up just to follow up with past and most recent customers and clients, I would highly suggest you do that first because they already know you. And then put your time and energy on setting up whatever stand you're going to use to reach out to your cold contacts. But hit your hots and your warms first. And the warms are people, they're not meeting you on social media. They've already gotten to know you. Okay, so set that up. I would set it up as a different stand. That's a different email sequence. and set it up, you all, as you're building your e-list nurturing stuff, because that takes time. Knock your Stan out so he can be out there working for you around the clock. So I hope you guys got everything you need. Next week, let me pop back into my slideshow here. Oops. I got to see what I'm teaching next week. Okay, next week we're going to be talking about optimizing Eva, who is more than an executive assistant. She's actually a chief of staff. She's a graphic designer. She is so much more. We just need to call her the chief of staff. And so we're going to dig into Eva's next week, you all. So feel free to come back. I'm just going to keep teaching because I'm just thrilled about this stuff. I'm nerding out over here. So I'm going to just nerd out and I'll share it with you guys. If you have questions, feel free to email me. You can respond to any email that you received from me. If you need a community, we invite you to join an Alliance chapter meeting. And I promise you guys I would put a couple things in the chat for you. Sorry about that. Let me do that and then we will jump on off. So if you are... Let me get the Alliance link. It has my name in it, but it really is for the Alliance. So here's the, come on chat. Here is the referral link for you guys. And then that's the referral link. And then the link for you all to come back as often as you want. Come back weekly, send your people. I don't even care if you were excited about Marbleism and you have your clients on it, you're using your referral. I am not offended. They can still come and learn. I am that excited about this. You're welcome to send people. And then here's the link, and I set it up automatically on my back end. The link changes every week. So you'll just have to save your spot. And I will send the recording out. I just hadn't had time, but I will get the recording out for this. If you're an Alliance member, it goes into the Diamond Network. And so you can check it out there. But for the rest of you guys, I will email it out. And just look forward to hearing your use cases and how incredible Marbleism is for you. This is the last thing I'm going to say. Work those AI employees. They do not complain. They don't have emotional baggage. They will never say that is not my job. That they will give you suggestions. You cannot overwork them. So you all work your system. With that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude for now. Hopefully I'll see you guys back next week. Invite other people, even if they don't have Marbleism. I think it's a great opportunity for them to see the back end since it doesn't have a trial. So with that, you guys, onwards and upwards, let's knock out those business goals and be unstoppable. Have an amazing week, and I'll be back here next week, same time, same place. Talk to y'all soon. Thanks for tuning in. All right, signing off.
Bye.
Bye-bye.